mass participation events. They are expected to happen on Hong Kong.
This is Hong
Island,
Kong,
where we are later this
protests
afternoon.
continue.
Your time.
Look down here, we see a little side screen of the
rally at the Causeway Bay, a shopping
tin
precinct,
soldiers,
and then to make their way up towards the government office.
bunch of robots marching around in Beijing.
At present, Gemma. Now, no one is taking any precautions today. Just
and
to observe here, Gemma, that a lot of stores.
It's hard to believe. Here we are, 2019. It feels and looks like
as a defensive move against
Nuremberg in the 1930s,
roughly 13
preparing for war and probably preparing to invade Hong Kong and smash the protesters.
Renewed his government's commitment to allowing Hong Kong to manage its own affairs.
Talking about all the peoples of China should join together, and they've got over a million Uyghur people
because it is a public holiday,
in concentration camps in China. So the robots are down here. We see the robots. Here they are. Look at the robots.
Acting chief executive in her absence,
and their weapons. The Americans will see
Beijing, along with all the provincial leaders,
the intercontinental missile
for this major
that can carry 10 nuclear weapons on display.
You would get commentary from the Hong Kong government
and
in any event they would let.
Are they going to let that go? Just don't worry about it? I think not. I think they'll have a go at this. They'll even make an opportunity to have a go.
Function last night in Beijing, Gemma. He also stressed the absolute importance of unity and reunification for the motherland, as President
reunification, there we go. And he wants to reunify. He wants to take over Hong Kong completely and take over Taiwan. Now, would the United States let that just drift by? We just don't know.
Was the reminder to Chinese.
Well, good afternoon, everybody. I'll try and keep this down to a few minutes comment. Just a pretty ordinary sort of a screen capture I'm putting on, and most people would have seen the parade, and they'd say, well, that's nothing, they do it every 10 years, but they're bringing out they're said to be the longest range intercontinental missile in the world, and it can carry 10 nuclear bombs. This reminds me, and it will do to a few of the other people who know their history, of Germany in the 1930s. Now, Nuremberg rallies and that type of thing, prelude to war, great deal of threat over Hong Kong. Hong Kong is carrying on, of course, as you know, in the protests and a pretty violent situation. And there's protests in Taiwan as well, trying to keep mainland China at bay. I have a feeling that mainland China, communist China, might very well send in troops and put down the riots and discipline the government or replace the government of Hong Kong. Most likely replace. And just say, right, forget about our agreements back when we took Hong Kong, the British handed it over. I think it was 1997. Forget all that. You're going to be under direct communist Chinese rule and law, and everything will apply. And I believe that the United States will do nothing. And then it's debatable what they would do if they decided, what the United States would do, I should say, of course, if China decided to take over Taiwan. Would America help the Taiwanese? We just don't know. Where would they go from there? What have they got in mind? Have they got in mind perhaps punishing the Japanese for their 1930s war against China, which cost a couple of million Chinese lives? If so, I would guess that America would act at that point. But America hasn't got a conventional army anywhere near the size that China has, or even North Korea for that matter. It's all very well talking about conventional weapons and so on, but I have a feeling that more importantly right now is Iran. Please keep an eye on what is going on in Iran, because there are people within the United States and Israel that want to punish and want to attack Iran in a severe manner, but they, in doing so, forget that Russia is Iran's ally and China would assist Russia if there was a war. It's only a matter of time before nuclear weapons would be used, and there'd be a heck of a mess if that was the case. I'm just sort of putting these things up there to bring it all together, let's say, and consider what is going on in the world. I know there are many people that would just say, no, don't worry about it, they'll resolve everything. I won't name any names, but they say, but, oh no, it'll be okay, Johnny, don't worry about it, and they'll work it all out. Well, I have a feeling that they won't work it all out. Now, I've been over this sort of thing and discussed this in the past, but there would be tremendous changes in Australia if there's a war between the United States and China. I had a Chinese professor, I put this on my YouTube and on my Facebook, said that Australia, well, it'd be basically abandoned as by the United States. It sacrifice is the word he used. That's an awfully strong word to use. But I'd say even if Australia wasn't attacked directly, there would be American assets in Australia, and I'm talking about perhaps a ship in Woolloomooloo in Sydney, Pine Gap military base that used for satellite tracking and so forth, communications base. That'll be open for attack almost immediately, and if the Americans almost surely have military aircraft in Tyndall Air Base in the Northern Territory, they'd be attacked. Now straight away the Chinese would say, well, oh no, we're not attacking Australia. We're at war with the United States. We know you're an ally, but we're not attacking that. But I'd say all the trade that we have now, and we depend upon, with Australia sending coal, iron ore, gas and so on to China, and China sending vast amounts of goods for sale in Kmart and Target and other stores, that'll all come to an end. There'll become petrol rationing almost immediately. There's no avgas produced in Australia, so all planes would stop flying within Australia. There's a tremendous number of things, more than I can possibly go into right now, that will happen if such a war does happen. Now, straight away some of my family and friends would probably criticise what I'm saying and say, oh, what are you talking about? You think it's going to start in 3 weeks' time? Well, I don't know. I'll be honest about that and just say, well, could be within a few weeks, months, it could be a year or two away, but it won't be the decades that some of these media people are talking about. And I find it just annoying and beyond belief that these university educated people would say, we might have to worry about China in a few decades. No, sorry guys, it's going to be a lot shorter period than that. Anyway, I'll leave these ideas with you, and I appreciate a civilised and polite reply. In other words, commentary, no abuse and no anger, just simply commentary on the matter. I'd be quite happy to hear that and respond to it. So thank you for viewing.